Morning. Happy New Year to you all. Hope you all had a wicked Christmas and a good New Year's Eve. I certainly did. I put on a few pounds since Christmas. Yes. Right. You joined me today on the white light. This wasn't the plan. The plan was to fish the green light. But I arrived 2 hours before low water, and even though the sea was out far, the stream that you have to cross to get onto the green light was about 3 foot deep, and the water was absolutely ripping through. One little slip you're in. It wasn't safe, and the railings on the ladder that's fixed there had disappeared, obviously over time, corrosion, so it wasn't worth taking a risk. Plus I didn't take my waders because the plan was to fish the green light. I've only got my wellies, and it was like 3 foot deep, so being 3 foot, because I'm only short, it'd probably be over my head. So I was contemplating on, do I go and fish Hayes Point or do I go to Sully Island? So I drove to Sully Island. Someone just gone across the causeway, so I thought, Joe, I'll come to the green white light. So it's about an hour and a half till low. I'm going to do most of the flood. Tide's a bit late for me really. It's 3:30 high water, so I'll be gone by 2. But yeah, I've just got the first rods out now. I'm fishing worm and crab on one and bluey and squid on the other, short 3 foot pulleys. I'm not targeting rays, but if there's a wind, a winter ray about, I'll take it. But it'd be nice to have a nice decent whiting for the whiting comp, or a nice cod or codling. So oh, that was a nice bite. That's on the worm and crab, that is. It's only been out there 10 minutes. Drop slack a little bit. Make sure there's no weed. That was a nice bite, that. Oh, and again, I'm not sure if you can pick that up on camera. And again, yeah. Right, we're going to get this in. Hopefully it's a nice whiting or codling. No doubt it'll be a doggy! Oh, there she is. Fish on! Fish on! I feel like it just come off. Yeah, I think it's come off. Yeah, it's come off. I'm like, oh, I got it. It was only small, whatever it was. Yeah, look, legs coming in first. Bait is absolutely perfect. Hooks are exposed. Who knows? But whatever it wasn't big. Yeah, scared by that. First cast. I was only out there 5-10 minutes. But yeah, look. Still pretty much perfect. It was on there for a good few pumps and then it came off. So it's probably a doggy or a whiting or something. Hook points, oh, that one is a little bit blunt. Oh, have to see to that. That bait is still good, so I'll just attach half a crab and half a squid to it. Yeah, so I hope you've all had a lovely Christmas. Had a lovely time at home with Kian, switched off. Oh, it was lovely. Ate everything in sight. Yay! I managed to do a short session the other day, in between Christmas and New Year, but I was so tired. You know, if my mate wasn't coming, I wouldn't have gone. I got a 18-year-old cat who's got dementia. She's completely deaf, almost blind, but she runs around like she's a kitten. She still eats. She still toilets. But she's got this thing now where she'll yowl all night. It's a horrible noise, and she'll do it like every 5 minutes. And yeah, literally just kept me awake. So yeah, I didn't take the camera. I just wanted a few hours fishing, chill out. Like I say, I wouldn't have gone if my mate Richie weren't going. But yes, lovely. Let's get this out. Right there. That's gone. That's not a small fish. The first initial bite took off like a hound. I guess it's an eel or a ray. Oh, a few head shakes there. Oh, could it be a cod? Really, I should be climbing down halfway if I struck this. But staying deep. It's not on the surface like a ray would be, but it could be a thorny. Staying really deep. Really deep. Oh my god, staying right the way down. See what was that? Oh, it's an eel. And my mouth there, I thought it was a cod. It's a nice eel. You don't forget this. The state of that rig. careful, you've got to take your time, you know, really take your time. That I got the accelerator over the edge with a whole herring on, and the ratchet just screamed off. So we'll go here at the moment. It's gone. I saw that happening here. I just lost that eel. This is going off. My other rod's going off. I'm in hell of a mess here. Let's go and slack a little bit. Oh my god. Yeah, this is on a whole herring about 30 yards out. You know, £40 mono, £100 leader, £200 poly rig. 4.0 catfish hooks. You know, I can just cast that out, but then just leave it there. The goal has always been, you know, like a double figure bass or something. Because there's always water, even on a big tide, there's always water here. These massive boulders at the bottom of the breakwater, you imagine the big eels that are under there. I reckon that first initial run, that must be the bass. It's all happening. Well, that was the state of the rig. They come in. Look at that. I reckon he's probably somewhere. Oh, rod's going over. Yeah, I'm going to bait this up first. I reckon it was an eel somewhere between 7 and 10 pounds, something like that. Stayed deep all the way in. If it come off out there, I'd have said it was a cod. But stayed deep all the way into the rocks. But initially, normally what I do, if I got a nice bite, I climb halfway down first before I hit into the fish. So I'm already down there. One of the worst things you can do is what I did, is bring the fish in to the rocks, then climb down, because you're giving it slack, you're giving it time to get that hook into the rocks or the weed to T-bar itself off, which is what it did. But it wasn't big, it's like somewhere, no, it's like no more than £10. But yeah, that was good. Yeah, the other rod's going. Right, there's probably a new rig out, I think. Yeah, I think these are the culprits at the moment. Small straps, literally. Both rods in. One was probably a similar size to this one, then this one. The one I lost on camera at the edge, the one I lost after a few pumps in first cast. I think they're all straps, so I think it's going to be hard work. But there's life out there. So all I got to keep doing now is just constantly get the fish in, fresh bait, fish in, fresh bait, and then just hopefully one 10 times this size or a cod shows up. So yeah, but at least it's better than a doggy. Yes, at the moment it's gone a little bit quiet. The last two casts I put out didn't have a touch on them. No, I did actually, on the worm one I did. It was something small. But squid and bluey, it was out there, half hour not touched. And that was the worm one I did have a bite on. So, 4 little straps at the moment. Tide's just turned. It's just started to go from left to right now. And the sun is out, as you can tell. Tell you what, it's quite warm. in that sun it feels like it's almost double figures. But yeah, looking good. So yeah, I'm only gonna give it about 5 hours of the flood, and we'll see what we can winkle out. Some of you might say, oh, why are you using so many rods? But when you're fishing height, I don't normally do it, but sometimes I do it. If you're on here for a good 8-9 hours, there's no harm in fishing like you do out there, and then put a rod in the harbour side, try and catch some fresh bait. I hope you caught that. Yeah, it's definitely a bass that's dropped it again. But say, you know, I'm only fishing for rockling or pouting, and size 2 hooks. So if I do get a decent bass, I'm probably not going to land it anyway. But I might put the accelerator that side with a bigger hook on. There it is, rag and crab. Yeah, it's been quiet for the last hour. Managed to wiggle out another strap. That's 5 in total now. Yeah, I think when these are out in force, you just can't get away from them. But yeah, so that's 5 straps and dropped 2 fish and dropped a bass. Still plenty, a couple of hours to go yet, so keep plugging away. Are out in force, I tell you. every time I get a slack liner when I'm using worm and crab. Gets the old ticker going. But notice another eel, that's number 6. Plenty of bites happening. But it's all small stuff. But it beats doggies and it beats blanking. It's number 7. Just can't get away from them. They're literally, you put a nice rag and a crab bait out, rag and squid, crab and squid. Rod goes over, goes slack, you think it's cod every time, or codling. Nope, it's eel. So I'd like to see a doggy now. So yes, let's just keep putting baits out and see what we can get. Chucked a 3-hook flapper with my Conti into the harbour side with size 2s. And got me a lovely whiting. So I just had a cracking bite on the big rod, pulled right over, then just come straight back. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, lovely whiting, lip hooked, so it'll go back perfect. Size 2. There you are, lovely. Few more red shakes on this one. No doubt it's another reel. Cod! Yes! Finally got what I come for. It's been hard work with the conger eels. I've had 7 or 8 in total now, dropped a few whiting and a nice codling now, probably about 3-4 pound. So yeah, lovely fish. So let's get it back to fight another day. Another eel. another eel. Again, behave. I think this is number 8 or number 9. They've all been about this size. I said earlier I lost that one. You see me lose. But the water's edge, about 8-10 pound. But apart from that, all the rest have been this size. Dropped a couple as well, missed a couple of bites. But just had that nice codling between, I don't know, 3.5, 4 pounds, something like that. I didn't weigh it. Didn't photograph it, just did the video footage and put it straight back. And she was on the surface for 10 minutes, didn't think it was going to make it, but it did a big kick and it's gone. So result. But so we get ready and do the cart pose. But yeah, let's get these little things back. But I wouldn't mind seeing a doggy now. Doggy. Yeah, I think it's turned out to be alright. what was it, mid-water now, 3 hours up. I'll give it another 2 hours fishing. 9 eels, a codling, dropped an eel, dropped 2 fish, and dropped a bass. Snapped my size 2 hook. So, I mean, too bad actually. I missed a few bites on the stand as well. But yeah, bloody, yeah, I'm happy, like. You know, I think I, as you know, like most of my winter fishing is down West Wales, like with anything with west in it, like northwest, west, southwest. I was always on stackpole right the way through the winter, because you can get some good tope fishing and some good spur dog fishing on stackpole through the winter. So anytime we had anything with a west in, or a big storm or a big sea, you know, you're safe on stackpole. As long as you've got a drop net, you're 30, 40, 50 foot up in some places. And then when the weather was nice in the winter, I was always down towards like St. David's and all that, where you get tope, huss, eels, spurs, you know, and daggies. But like now I'm not interested in West Wales at all. I'm not. You probably saying, oh he is, but trust me, I'm not. I've spent enough time on those rocks, and you know, a lot of time by myself as well. I enjoyed it when I was doing it, but I just had a £3 codling. That gave me a wicked buzz. As soon as I seen that, I was like, oh my god, you know. But you know, I am gonna target tope off the beach from May, June onwards next year for you guys to watch. But apart from that, you won't see me on the rocks ever again. You know, maybe in the winter time I might venture down to Stackpole, get a spur for you. You know, but apart from that, that was a bite. Apart from that, most of my fishing is going to be quiet through the winter, because you can't really bag up through the winter in the Bristol Channel unless you hit a pocket of fish and get lucky. You know, you can go over Breen Down, catch a load of thornies. You've got Shirton Reef, Hinkley Point, chance for cod, eels, loads of thornies. But I want to try and get that cod for you on camera, so there's going to be quite a lot of sessions where there's not a lot happening. But one day, fingers crossed, could get that lump on camera for you. So yeah, gonna give it another 2 hours. It's midday now. High water's about 3, half 3. And then shoot off. Some of you might ask, why am I leaving so early? I like to take Kian out every day. You know, as a kid I got bored in the house. He's like me, he loves being out. I couldn't imagine him, like, funny enough, like when I was first started tope fishing, when he was younger, I didn't care, he was in all day and night. But I couldn't do that now. As long as I get home by about 3, 4 o'clock latest, you know, to take him out for a couple of hours, or be at the beach, food, pier, farm, wherever he wants to go, and then he has a good burn off some energy before bed, happy days. You know, most of my fishing seems to be through the early hours of the morning, right way through the morning until afternoon. I'm happy with that, like. A couple of anglers have turned up, they've had an eel. So yes, it's looking good. Oh, there's a bite. Ooh. Oh, I got a bite on both rods. Very rattly. There's a lot of life out there. Now, if anyone's after information on the white light, you have to be careful when you come on here. You know, it is a breakwater at the end of the day. You've got some railings as you come down to the mark to walk around, so you have to be careful. Make sure you hold on the whole time. But the railings are wide enough to slide your gear through, so you haven't got to carry around your rods now, but you'll have to keep your box on your back, because the railings are only about 10 inches wide. My preferred tide on here is medium to almost big tides. Small tides, there's not a lot of running of water. And 9 times out of 10, every time I come down here and it's been pretty much hard in the tide, it hasn't really fished that well. Even though it's a 13 metre this morning, which is a medium tide, you know, 11/12 metres a small tide, a 15 metres a big tide, so it's like a medium. There's been plenty of running of water, 7 ounces of holding lovely. But you have to be careful, the big tide, there's so many snags out there. It is clean, but it's patches. And what's happened over time is people have lost ends in little areas, and if you think about it, 10 ends, 10 leaders, that's 300, that's 300 foot, 30 foot times 10, 300 foot. And then another 10, and there's masses of line on that seabed. So my advice is, when you come on the white light, especially up towards the end, you know, you will lose gear if you can't absolutely wang it. You know, 60 yards, you will end up losing quite a few sets, but anything over 80, 100 yards, you'll be fine. And normally if you get a thorny, try and get him off the bottom quick, because his nose will pick up a line snag. But 9 times out of 10, when you hook a blonde, it comes up on the surface right out there. So yeah, it's one of those venues where some people say fish is over low, some people say fish over high. You know, I fished it probably about 15 years now, and they can come on any time. You know, don't get me wrong, over low is good, over high is good, but you can pick fish up all the way through and all the way back. You know, I've gone the whole flood without anything. I've had fish on the ebb. I've gone the whole flood with fish, 0 bites on the ebb. I've had fish over low, nothing over high. You know, the fish will come through when they come through. I wouldn't come down here without bluey. Bluey is key on here. I've had as many bites today on bluey as I have on worm and crab, or bluey and squid. You know, you get some big fish off, you get big congers, you get hounds off here through the summer. Get the occasional stingray, you get big blondes. This is the mark that I got my PB blonde from, £21. Back in 2010 or 2011 with Roy Tapper. Yeah, that was low water, that was. A 3rd cast into low water. Because I got down here just before him. 4th cast, sorry, I'll tell you the story now. I got down just before him, 1st cast I'd have spotted as he came down. 2nd cast I had a £7 blonde, he'll remember this if he watches. 3rd cast I had a 10 or 11 pound blonde, and I said, wouldn't it be funny enough next cast, because it's going up, if I get a 20 pounder? And what happened? 21 pounder. I remember him going down with a landing net, and he was like, this ain't fitting in the net. Weighed it on my scales and his, 21 pound. Because it wasn't a wide fish, it was like a stingray. On the floor it looked about 15 pound, but it was so thick, like a thorny. And yeah, like when we put it on my scales, 21 pound, we used his scales, it was 21 pound. And that was 12, 13 years ago. So it'd be nice if I break that 21 pound one day. But yeah, so I'm on my last cast now. I'm not going to give it too much longer. Probably another 20 minutes.